Hi guys, we're going to be modeling a perforator and it's going to be really easy. So I do not have a full blueprint to use, so we're going to just do a lot of assumptions. So I'm just going to use my eyes to gauge. And so we begin this way with a rectangle, and I dimension the rectangles. I say this should be 70 and then this should be about 90. Okay, with this, let's create circles here. Circles 1, 2, 3, and then create dimensions. The distance between this and this, let's say 20, and then the distance between this point and this point. So rather than inserting 20 again, I say equal to, and I select on this. Okay, so with this now, I say the diameter of this should be about 5. So that being 5, let's also say the distance between these points would be about 6. I wonder how the 6 will work. Okay, 6 is too small, so let's say about 8. 8 should be fine. Yeah, so 8 is fine. And then lastly, I'll select on this, and this circle, make them equal. Also select on their centers and make them vertical to each other. Okay, so I almost forgot to give them the horizontal dimension. So from this point to this point would be about 13 millimeters. Okay, let's make this 12. I think 12 millimeters. 11 millimeters. 11 millimeters. 10 millimeters. Yes. Alright, so with this, I would create a construction line here. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to reduce the number of features that I'll have to create. So I can as well just create my mirrors here. So I mirror this and say yes, this way. Okay, so this is good. Now with this here, I would extrude boss base. So you've noticed that we're not extruding these circles here, and we want to extrude these circles. So I select contours 1, 2, 3. Don't mind me, I have my reasons. If we don't extrude the circles now, it's going to give us a little bit of challenges later on. So extrude all of this and say this should be about let's just say 15, and also we create a draft. So let's say, okay, so it's creating upwards, change the direction to go downwards, let's say about 9 degrees, and draft outwards, let's say 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 to round it up. Okay, so 15 degrees is good. With this, next thing we will do is to create on the smaller side. So this is longer side when compared to this, and so I would want to create a cut extrude here, and then I'll just draw this 1, 2, 3, and then this way. Smart dimensions, the distance between here to here should not be that large, so let's keep it at 2.5, and then we need the distance from this line to this point. And so since the overall distance is 70, let's say about 32, which is almost half the distance. Okay, so this is good. And then we create an angle here of about 135 degrees. Okay, let's increase this. So by clicking on it and say 34. Okay, yeah, 34 is good. So with this now, we can extrude cuts in both directions, and then I say through all both. Yep. So with this, so you have this. If you are not having this feature, then you are doing something wrong. So you can go ahead and go back and then cross check the mistakes you've made. Alright, so with this we create fillets, and then our fillets, we start with fillet of 1 all around these points, all around these edges. Here, and then rotate. Also select this edge. Okay, so with this now, so check. Yeah, this is pretty cool. And then we'll create a fillet again, and this time we'll make it like 3 millimeters to give a smooth transition from here to this plate. So I select here and then select this 3 millimeters. This is also nice. And then lastly we create okay, so before we go there, let's create another sketch here and offset this by about let me say 2 millimeters. Yes. So I haven't created that offset. I create extrude boss base again, and this time around just by, let's say, 1.5. And please remember to click on this merge, make sure that it is activated. And so with this now I say yes. So you should have something like this. And then the next we have to further create more fillets, and then I would say I'll create a fillet of 1 and then select this face. Yep. So with that, check. Now I notice the fillet created on the 2 edges of that face. I mean towards this side and towards the vertical, this inclined face also. And then our last set of fillets would be let's say about 8 millimeters. So select this, select this, select this, and select this. Hopefully it comes all the way down here. And then I say yes, 8 millimeters. Okay, so since it did not do that, so just go ahead to include that with the fillets. So also this, yeah, and then also this, yeah, and then I also include this here, rotate, and include this. Okay, so with this oh, now we are going through a little bit of a challenge. So you know what we're gonna do? We're moving this boss extrude, so move fillet 4 upwards rather to be above or below fillet 2. Yeah, so this works better. Alright, so with this now we can create a shell, and let's say our shell is of 1 millimeter, and then let's just select on this face, show preview. Where is the preview? Okay, I think it's going to give us an error. I suspect so, yeah. Okay, so since we have this case right now, so what I'll do is I'll edit this boss extrude. instead of 1.5, let's make it 2, and then this fillet here, fillet 1, instead of 1, let's make the fillet about 2 also. Yeah, and then create the shell again. Let me see, show preview. Okay, so this works now, and then I click on yes. So we have this. Alright, so now that we have this, we're going to do something real quick. I'll go back to this sketch 1 and edit sketch 1. Control it. There's going to be an issue. Okay, so first of all, let's create a sketch on this face, and then make this visible, show. So I say convert entities 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. Yeah, so extrude cuts all through. Yeah, so we extrude cut all through, and so we have this. So just for design purpose, we're going to create like an indent here, and so that will take us upwards again before we perform our shell too. So at this point, I'll just put this hand symbol to show, and I drag this upwards beyond the shell. So notice that the shell has been undone, and then also I'll create sketch here. Create a sketch using this rectangle again. So I just draw this, and then I draw a triangle. Many people don't draw triangles using this, but I do. So I'm just going to draw a triangle this way, and then the next is to create dimensions. The dimension of this should be around 22. This should be about 11, and this should be about 8. And then the distance from this point to this should be around let's say 4, and the distance from here to here should be around, let's say, just 7. Okay, so with this 7. Okay, 7 is good. So with this now, we're going to create an extrude cut also. Extruded cut, and it's going to go downwards by 0.75. Yes. Okay, so now we create fillets. Since it's going down by 0.75, let's create fillets of 0.25. So this point, so I'm just going to select on all the edges to have the same fillet. And then I think there's something we need to change. It looks like the draft was active when we created this extrude. Don't mind the way I'm rotating it all around. I just don't get all the edges at once. So I have this also, and then so I'll create the same fillets for all of these edges. And then this last edge here. I haven't gone through all the stress of selecting all these edges. the fillet better works. Yeah, so the fillet does work. And then just to cross check this cut extrude to ensure that the draft was not okay. So there is no draft. I think it's not actually be a bad idea to create a draft, but not at this angle anyway. Or let me see. Okay, 15 is not bad. So create a draft going inwards, and then we check this. Alright, so at this point we can drag the shell downwards, and so you notice this beneath it. Okay, now that we are at this point, okay, so I select on this face again as a sketch. So I'll create another sketch here. It's also going to be a rectangle, so let's say corner rectangle this time around, and then I'll just say something like this. So if you notice, I'm not making it to touch this line, because if you do that, Solidworks automatically assume that there's a relationship between that line and this edge. So at this point, I'll create a distance. Now notice the distance I'm selecting from. I'm selecting a distance reference from the first sketch we selected. So I'm selecting the distance between this line and this line. Now it's and then I make these to be about 3.5. So I select 3.5 millimeters. Yeah, this is very fine. And then also from this line here to this line, so we also say 3.5. That's fair enough. Yeah. And then I'd say the distance from here to here should be about 13 millimeters. Okay, so this is also fair. And then we say the distance of this is about let's make this, let me see, let's try 45. 45, no. So let's say 50. So then we click on this and say 50. Yeah, 50 is good. Alright, at this point I'll create a little bit of a chamfer, sketch chamfer, and then equal distance, let's say 1. So I select on this edge here. So with that edge, that's actually fine. Let's undo this and make it 1.5 instead, since we can. I mean, it's our design. So we say 1.5 and check. Alright, so at this point, what I'm going to do is, rather than just create a normal extrude, I'm going to go through another method. So I'm going to use sheet metal. If your sheet metal is not found here, you can't find the sheet metal tab. So what you do is just right click on any of these tools and activate your sheet metal. So then you have it. I'll just say my sheet metal, and then flange, base flange tab. So I'll create this using the sheet metal base flange tab. Is it going down or coming or going up? Looks like it's coming down. So let me change my view. So we need to go the opposite direction, reverse direction. And I want it to be of thickness also 1 millimeter, just for consistency. And then K factor, okay, let's leave it this way. So I say check. Now that I have this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create edge flange. So I'm going to make an edge flange that goes all the way up. So I select on this bottom edge here and drag this upward, like just upward. and then I click on check. Okay, and so I can sketch on this face and say we actually don't want it to be this high, so I just draw something like this. This is one of the reasons why I like Solidworks. It allows me to misbehave, to just draw anything I want to draw. Alright, so from this edge, the bent edge, I'll pick dimension towards this place to be 5, and then I'll pick the angle between this, or rather the angle between this and this line to be about let's say 12. Let's see how 12 looks really large, so let's change this to about 10. Okay, so 10 is good. So having this at 10, next thing to do is to create kind of slots here. So I'll create this slot just this way anyway, and then I also create a circle touching that part, and so dimension from this edge to the center of the slot should be about let's make it 10. The diameter of this, let's make the diameter of this 2.5. Okay, why is it looking suddenly very big? Since this is a radius of 2.5, this is a distance of 9. 2.5, and these circles have I think diameter of 5, right? Okay, so that's true. Okay, so 2.5 radius is actually too big, so let's make this about just 2. And then we say the distance, the length of this should be about, let's say 2 also. And then I'll say from the center point of this, I know I'm just assuming these dimensions. This is, since this is 3, so let's make this 3.5, and then the diameter of this should be 5. Okay, therefore let's make this 1.5. 1.75. Okay, this is good. And then I also like to increase this on a bit from being just 2, so I'll make this to be about 3, and then since I added 1, so I'll remove 1 from this. I'll be 2.5 here still. Alright, so this is good. So since this is here, so we also dimension this towards the center point of that, and let's say this should be 7. Okay, so it's been 7. We can go ahead to create a little bit of a fillet here. Okay, so what I'll do first of all is to trim out some of this. Yes. I know that it's undefined now, so I'll make this radius of 1 at this point, and another here. Okay, so we don't actually need to fully define this again, but you can, but I'll just leave it that way. Alright, so with this now, what I'm going to do is to create extruded cuts. of both. Now say true all, and yes, and so we have this. Okay, so to make this really safe for us, we would place a fillet at this point here, and then so normal features, fillet to, let's take a fillet of 2 millimeters and see how that goes. Okay, so this is fine. A fillet of 2 millimeters works very fine. And then at this point, we're gonna be doing this. I'll create another flange here. So in the sheet metal, I'll create edit flange again, or edge flange, sorry. And then I create a new flange at this point, coming upwards at an angle. So let's say the angle is 60 is not, no, let's just 30 degrees. Okay, so creating the flange at this point at 30 degrees is not a bad idea. But then if you notice, the flange is going inside instead of starting from here. So first of all, let me see how this shows up. Okay, yeah, so it's affecting the other parts of this. We could actually leave it this way, but then we'll just go back to change the configuration of this. So rather than having it there, let's choose this. Yes, so this is fine. This works well for us, and this is good. So with this now, we create also fillets here because we don't want these things hurting anybody. So say fillet. I know it's virtual, but you don't want your product hurting your customers. So you need to do the designs perfect. So 1 millimeter radius, and so we have this. Yeah, very fine. At this point, I would create an extrude cut on these surfaces. So I create a sketch here, and then convert entities. So I'm still using these circles we drew before. And then when we have this, we're able to also extrude cut through all, and then say yes. So notice that we have this now. Also on this particular one, let's say sketch. So I'll do the convert entities again. Yeah, and then I'll create offset entity of this about 0.5. Yes, so with this we're going to create an extrusion of around 1.5 millimeters. So I say extrude bus base 1.5. Should 1.5 be good? Okay, let's just make it 1 millimeter. Yes. So this time around, this should actually be merged because it's part of this body. So at this point, to create fillet also, and then fillet around this, and wow, as good as this looks, we're not going to use that. So we use 0.5. So with this, we'd also create a little very small fillet for this face here. So I'll just select on this face and say fillet of 0.02. 0.02 looks very small. So let's say 0.1 millimeters. This should work fine. Yeah, this is fine. So 0.1 millimeters. And then now we would create another part. Okay, so we would like to create an extra flange kind of here. Okay, so rather than doing this, so I'll sketch on this plane to convert entities to create a small extrusion there. Extrude those planes this way. Yes. Okay, so let's say 5 millimeters. Accept. So therefore with this, we create another sketch here, or rather cut extrude. So I'll edit the sketch of this. Equal this point and this point, horizontal, and then distance between these two. 7. Okay, so with this edit sketch, hold on, extrude, edit feature, select the contours, alright, so I'll just rather create a sketch here and make this visible. So without being visible, convert entities and include this. At this point, extruded cuts. Yes. Okay. So at this point, we're going to create a fillet here. Fillet to this line to be at radius 4. And then, so the next step for us is to create the part of the perforator that pushes down on the pin that does the perforation. So I'll create a new sketch on the right plane. Construction purpose. Dimension this to this. Let's make it 33. And then let's on this points to this is about 20. Okay, so this is fine. And then I use a 3D sketch for construction purpose. And present that in this way. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to create a plane where I'm going to create my new sketch. So we have this plane here. So on this plane, sketch. Sorry, I selected the wrong plane. Sketch, yes. So with this now, draw a rectangle. Small dimensions. Let's see. Also structure. Two dimensions. So this way and this way. Since it's 20. So these dimensions straight. This way. Oh, so there's a constraint that I've applied here, and I have to select this way. I'm not able to find it away. So I'll delete that way. Draw them down. Vertical. So this symmetry. So like 3 knots. Rest of this. And then say the distance. So that's 65. Let's set this. I should just put it. Alright. She wants this also. Okay. So at this point, this is where we are. So just to cross check this. Because we don't want it exceeding this point. Like I can see, it looks like it's already exceeding that point. This one. So we have to move this forward a little bit. And that would mean small dimensions. Okay. Just go back to this. So in this line, this. So putting the line like this. This is 7. Let's move it back 15. It also looks like this line bigger coincidence. For linear. So delete this. Okay, small dimensions from this to this line. See 15. Okay, sorry. So let's there's a lot of issues here right now. 1, 2, linear, and then I'll move, see that I can move this down, as I cannot, so I'll not linear. Because the line is giving the issues, so it's this now. I hope I'm not snapping to anything. Yeah, I'm not. So trim this. So this is still 60. Before I make it 60, I need to move this down. 0.9. Let's make it about 10. Let's see how it is. And this is 10. Let's put it. So at 10 there. And then this is 20, so dimension this is 90, this is 60, 60, 60, and then if this is 20, then the distance between here and there should be about 25. This point, so use the distance of 25. Okay, and then this line, and this. At this point, I'll also say this line is equal to this. So the distance of this should be about 20. Okay, so that is 60. Let's make this 25. Yes, 25. So this is completing another animation. So this is supposed to be symmetrical. This. Alright, it's I don't know where it is. Well, you don't want to find out that it is to this dimension. And I try not so much about that shocking. It should be 25. Alright, at this point, I think we're good to go. I'll use sketch and not needed, so I'll delete this. Yeah. So with this, the 1mm and check, and then also edge flange. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Here. So with all of this, next thing to do, check on this. So now that we have, we're going to do a bit of cutting to trim out this into our desired shape. So I'll create a new sketch of this face. And also change transparency to be able to focus on these lines, on these points. So convert entities, and then convert entities again. So I need to convert the entities of this edges here. So I'll do this. Okay, control 8. This now. So make this construction. Okay. And then this. And also put extra pictures here. Which will be this one. Just back. So this close up this. It doesn't really matter how I choose to close this up. Okay, so you notice that this part is actually coming into this here. But then with this feature here, with this cut here, so it stops it at this point. So we are also cutting through this. And then move downwards. Okay, just close it up here. And then trim this up. Before I do that, like this. Okay, so I just trimmed out. This side. So at this point, I'll also draw the line coming this way. And let's make this line. And this line coming up. Okay, so they are coming linear, this line, and this line. And then lastly, have these two lines. So having done all of this now, just add a little bit of small dimensions, just so we are all on the same page. So again like this. So the distance from here to this line is all agree for it to be 6, and then from the distance from this line to this point, let's all agree for it to be about 14. And so the radius of this, we should all just use a radius of about 45, I suppose. Okay, so 45 is good. And then the distance of this should be 21. Just take it up a bit. Alright, at this point, we also give this distance. So 3 is okay actually, but we just make it 4. And so at 4 is 7. So there's no need for that. And then we have this which is a need for this actually. There is no need. Alright, so now that we have all of this, the next step to take is to cut sheet metal and actually cut all of this on through. So select the contours, contour 1, contour 2, contour 3, contour 4, contour 5, and then uncheck this auto select, so select the body to cut from. So select this top body here, so that the software doesn't cut out of the JS part. With this done now, I suppose that's good. Okay, so we need to create the blind. How long do we want the cut to go? So just make sure it goes all through this. So you can also select through all. So it doesn't really matter, I'll just use the blind. And then here. So let's see. Okay, so we have this and this is good. And just like before, so we just try to fillet some edges. This at 4 mm, that's good. Also this edge here, this edge here. Alright, so with all of this, you can also create a fillet for this edge here. Still with the 4 mm, this edge here. Let's see. This is good. Okay, so the 4 mm is good at all those points. So we have this. So right now we're going to create an extra flange here. The edge flange, which is going to be short. About let's say 5 mm, okay. So we just create that as 5 mm. What intersects to say about double operations. Let's see. Where does that happen? Yeah, I suppose it's because of this point. Or we can leave that alone, it's negligible. So it's just a yellow one in another red, so I'll leave that. Okay, so at this point, we're getting to the end of this. So I'll create a new sketch here and convert entities, or rather, just go straight to offset entities and then offset this by 0.1 in the reverse direction. Yes, we did. So yes, and then I just drew that at the wrong point. Okay, so let's do this again. Sketch on this, so it's ought to be here. Create this, let's go change this. So this is where we need it. And so offset entities, you select this inner diameter here and then reverse direction. Yes. Okay, so it's at the right position. And then we create another offset for this, an offset of 0.2. So we need it within, so also reverse direction. And then check. So at this point, we're going to create an extrude before space. Select contour. So just this part. So how large should it be? It should go in this direction by around 22, and then go in direction 2 at about okay. So in direction 2, I'll rather use offset from surface and select this as a surface. So I would say this way. Let's say an offset of 3 millimeters. Yeah, so it's just about, okay, let me make it 2.5. Or 3 is okay, actually, because we need space for the sheet of paper to come in. So 3 should be good. And just confirm reverse offset. Okay, so yeah, we're good. So using this now, remove this merge results. You don't want the merge result checked. Set this. So at this point we have this. So the principle is this. This plate here, by the time it's pressed down, it pushes this cylinder, this cylindrical part downwards to cut through the paper that will be inserted here, and then the paper that is cut flows or passes through this hole and then comes into the tray that will be in it. And then at this point, the next thing for us to do is to create a pin, or a set of pins actually. So I would say let us create an offset of this hole. Shouldn't be that much. So let's say like 0.20 millimeters. That's a very small millimeters tolerance. So it's only look this big in reality, and that's this. Having done this extrude cuts or trim. So we have a hole here. Alright, and then so now this time around we're creating a kind of a pipe, offsets. So let's this offsetting surface. So create another offset sketch here. Of this hole, and this time around 0.1 in reverse direction. Okay. So the same hole we create there, we do the same thing at this point. So offset entities again here, 0.2 actually, and say check. So here now we're going to create extrusions. The other direction, so go this way. And offset from surface, from this surface by about 5 millimeters in the reverse direction. Okay, so 5 is large, so say about 3 millimeters. Okay. say 2. Yeah, 2 millimeters in that direction. And also this place, offset from surface, just repeat it. So on this surface also 2 millimeters. Okay, so we have this now, which is good. And then so at this point, the last thing we should do for these cylinders, I would like to offset entity of this by about 0.3 or 0.35, and then offset entity of this also at about 0.25. The reason is simple. Okay, so this should be like about 0.45. Okay. And this is just so that this cylinder doesn't slide through the holes that have been created here. And then before we conclude on this, I would exit this sketch. Close. Create an extra plane because we have to create a mirror for that. Let's plane here in the center of that part. Okay. And then so now we can extrude ball space. So extrude about 0.5 millimeters. Okay, so this is okay. Check. Fillet of 0.2. Okay. Fillets there, and fillets here. 0.2. So we create a mirror, and then using the plane I just created, which is this plane between here, features to mirror, select on this boss extrude, fillets, and fillets 13. So okay. So we have this, alright, and then the last thing to do is that you need to create a path along this cylinder here. So when we press down this part to push the perforator down this cylinder, you need a spring that will be able to push it back up. And so still using this plane 2, create a sketch on this, and then I'll say intersection curve of this cylinder here. So we have this here. Convert this to convert this to construction geometry and offset this by 1 millimeter, 1 millimeter, 1 millimeter, 2 inch. Yes. So with this now, curves, helix and spiral. So we have it going this way, which is too large. So we get a picture of about 3 millimeters. Not even 1.5. Okay, constant pitch revolutions. So, 3. Okay, so this is too much. 2.75 is okay. So it's coming in this direction. We actually need it to also go in the reverse direction. Alright, so let's just double this to be 2.75. That's 3.5. No, that's 5.5. That looks small, so let's increase it a bit to 7. Alright, so 7 is good, but I would like it to be so 7.5 is better. Clockwise direction, yes. Yeah, this is good. And then we want to do just a little bit of a change. So I'll create a new plane. So we use 7.5 for the revolution distance. So 7.5 divided by 2 is 3.75. 3.75. Yes, 3.75. So just read it's 2.75. 2.75. Alright, this is good. And then next is we need to change the plane of the sketching. The sketch plane from that plane to this plane, which is plane 3. Okay, so I'll move the plane 3 upwards a bit, just below plane 2. Okay, so this sketch plane. Okay. Let's just go. So this is fine. Actually, it's really fine. And then I think I'll just edit this bit. The reason is one part should go up, one part should come down. So yeah, so this is fine. Let's go counterclockwise direction. Alright, so this is okay here. And then the start angle. Alright, so this start angle is good, while the end angle, let's say revolution should be 7.25. 7.25 is actually okay, and so check. Again, we create a plane. So features, reference geometry, plane. So from this face, so let's set the bottom point at this. Let's see. So I'm creating a plane at that point. Okay. And then I'll also create a plane again. So I'll just do that once at this point. And then create a feature, swept bus base, circular profile, and select on this spring here. And then reduce this stem meters, simply because it's too large. And then say 1 millimeter diameter. Okay, so created as 1 millimeter. You can see this spring here. Looks too big actually, so torsion is actually not going to be really good with this kind of spring. So we have to reduce its diameter to about, it's 0.5. Alright, so 0.5 is good enough. And at this point, and hide this and say we create a sketch and display name. So this way, arc dimension. So since that is 0.5, I'll just do this and create a small dimension. So dimension between this face and this will be 0.25. Or let's say 0.27. All of this is just for tolerance sake, 0.27 meters. And then this will be, let's say, 0.8. Sorry. So before we dimension that, I like this to pass through the center of this circle. So this line should be coincident with this. No. Why is the line? Oh man, so I drew it at the wrong point. Wow. How many planes do I have here? Okay, so I'll just change the plane of this one. So this plane here. Plane 4. Okay. Alright, so this is better. So if I edit this sketch, show it. Sketch content, sketch, show it. States, okay. So just I'm sure this way. Addition that is I think that's the easiest thing to do. So this is stress of what I had to go through to get these sketches. Exit sketch, close. So hopefully I'm trying to create this soup that comes through all of this. Soup sketchbook this. Okay, yeah, so this works. Okay, options, merge, matrices, yes. Okay. So I haven't done that part. Oh, the next is to do the other part of the spring. And so think I need to just remove this is obstructing me. So since I'm done with before, so okay, so 5, and this is the top point. Okay, so this doesn't necessarily have to be at the center of this point. I like it in this set. As long as it touches it, it's fine. And since I already drew the center, the point I created here on the center point of this face, so I'm guaranteed that this is actually touching this face. So with this now, I can go back to the mesh. Okay, so we have this. Actions. Alright, so now with this, let's make this a bit more solid. Yeah. Now this point, we're as good as done. Just but for one condition. We need to mirror all of the things we've created here to the other side. And so I'll make visible the right plane. And so the mirror about this, and then bodies to mirror, because we have sheet metals here, so I'll mirror this sheet metal already separately. Okay, and also mirror again. Mirror plane, and then also mirror this, bodies to mirror. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, so at this point we have the same parts there at the other side. And this is just it So for the tray that packs the dirt, in this, select on this plane and say plane just a bit above it. Let's say about 2 millimeters above it, and then draw on this plane. Sketch. So I offset entity, select chain. This is still the same thing. Match. About 0.1 millimeters is construction geometry. Okay, so this, and then I create another offset. Select chain. So this now about 3 millimeters this direction. We're going to convert this sketch to geometry, construction geometry, and then now that we've done that, feature extrude. So we need the entire contour extruded. Let me see. Okay, so it's fine. And then uncheck this merge, and then let's extrude by 5 millimeters downwards. So the opposite direction. Okay, so uncheck the merge results. It's compulsory to do that. And then with this, we can create fillets around these edges, and fillet at about 0.75 radius all around. Okay, so insert features, indent. This is target body. Okay, so local section. Alright, so since we have this, next thing for us to do is to create a shell. Shell preview. Let's 0.1 millimeters. And then here we create this at 2 millimeters. So we have a shell of this structure. Okay, so do this. So this is the perforator. Alright, so this point we're done, and this is our perforator. Thank you for sticking with me to the end. You know, this was a very great challenge doing this. And if you like this video, please do not forget to click on the like button and also subscribe to this channel. And also, if you have questions and comments, and if there are ways that you want me to change the presentations of what I'm doing, this channel is a channel that is open to community contributions, so do well to put your comments at the comment section. Also, click on the notification bell while you're subscribing so that you'll be notified when new uploads are made.